Hi everyone, it's Teresa here. So I am going to talk about dyslexia and our PIP that we did. One of the things I want to talk about is, first of all, I have grown up with a little brother who was diagnosed dyslexic at a young age. He received all the services and accommodations, and I saw a lot of that. I watched him. He did a lot of breaking apart of words, putting them back together, a whole lot of memorizing all the different rules associated with phonics and words and all of that, and he would use those as he was trying to decode words. So I've seen a lot of the actual teaching methods, and he is very successful now. He's in college, and he is using still a lot of those methods he's learned to continue to read and decode. So I was really interested in this subject. So one of the things that I did notice after studying and reading is that I did have a misconception about what dyslexia was, how it worked. Not necessarily how it was treated and how it affected kids, but what's the science behind it? How does it work? What is it really causing the students to not be able to do? Or why is it causing them to not be able to do it? So I would say that even after that experience of, being a teacher and getting my certification and having personal experience with it, that I did have a misconception of it. I did not realize that it was a lot more to it than you're reading the words backwards. That I thought it was more of a visual processing thing. So if I misunderstood that, I have to believe that a lot of the general public and teachers also misunderstand it. So my question is, one of my first questions was, how come this is so misunderstood? We have ADHD. That's another very prevalent disability. And yet we know so much more about ADHD and how it works and what to do. And I don't remember ever thinking that ADHD students were less intelligent. However, dyslexic students, pretty much across the board from what we've seen here and personal stories I've heard, they believe that they're slow, that they're not as intelligent as everyone else. And we've heard a lot of, you're stupid. And why is this so much more misunderstood? My thought was maybe it's because the science behind explaining it, all the brain things that we viewed, the MRIs, all of that is newer. So is that the reason that we seem to not really have a good grasp? So I think that it's important to try to cultivate that in the classroom, and even to teachers and students themselves, to help them really understand what that is and encourage them and focus on their strengths. Another thing that I noticed is my boyfriend was also diagnosed with dyslexia as a child, and his son as well has been diagnosed. His son's currently 9. And his son reads way below grade level, and he struggles pretty much across the board in school because of it. He says he hates school, he feels stupid, he'll break down into crying fits sometimes because he just doesn't feel capable. Now, looking at my boyfriend where he is now, I would have no idea other than the fact that he's told me that he has dyslexia. He's a highly intelligent man. He's an engineer. He's a teacher of engineers. He's one of the most intelligent people I know. And so it seems so sad to me that these children are starting life believing that there's something wrong with them, and that they're not as intelligent and they can't do it. And yet, there are stories, my brother and my boyfriend, who come out, and obviously there is no gap in intelligence there. And so, yet this seems to be across the board that people are believing that they are somewhat less intelligent, and kids are being told they're just slower to learn, when that seems to not be the truth. So, as a teacher, one of the things I'd want to do to help that is to really encourage children in the class with dyslexia, to let them know that they are smart, to help them discover where their strengths are, and to just also celebrate as they learn, they're having to work so much harder to be able to read. So really encouraging that effort and celebrate with them when they do make advances. And also just letting them know how intelligent they are in other areas. I also wonder how you can create an environment of acceptance and understanding in the classroom without specifically saying, little Johnny has dyslexia, we need to be more understanding. How can you create an environment that really helps their peers at a foundational level, at a basic level, to understand that little Johnny is not any less smarter than anybody else? And just create a classroom of encouragement and understanding, and making sure that the parents understand as well. So one of my last things I wanted to talk about was bringing my faith into it. One of the things I really liked about the videos was that they talked about how dyslexics are some of the most intelligent people, that they've been known to be leaders in their fields, that they think in an outside-the-box manner, that they create in a way that might be difficult for others to do. I thought it was interesting when they said like 35% of entrepreneurs are people who have been diagnosed with dyslexia. They've been shown to have great creativity, reasoning, problem-solving, verbal abilities. Now, this makes me think, how dare we limit God? How amazing is He? Should we really think that there's only one right way for our brain to function? Yet, our school environment and our world is created in a way where a certain type of thinking is deemed the most worthy, is deemed the most successful. But why should we really limit God's handiwork? He's so much bigger. Look at the diversity in our world. If you go into a rainforest, how many different species are there? How dynamic is our world? And yet we expect students to think and work in a specific way. And if they don't, somehow they are lesser. So that just seems to be something that, as a whole, we all need to work on. And I thought about the verse, the eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. In the end, we're all children of God, and we all have something to add. And I think that's something that dyslexics need to hear. Not just dyslexics, but kids with learning disabilities in general. So that is all I have. Thank you for listening.